Hey guys, my name is Pansy and welcome to my video where I talk about the current state of BDO in 2020. This is just my take and this was recorded a few weeks ago live on stream at twitch.tv/I'mPansy. I stream every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Nowadays, every Friday I try to give a similar type of talk, talking about various topics that pertain to us MMO gamers, so please do check it out. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Alright, I think it's recording. Anyway, I guess an introduction's in order. Not much really to say other than the fact that I wanted to talk to you guys about the current state of the game. I played the game when it first came out in 2016, briefly. I didn't really get into it till later, and then I quit for a long time, and I came back because when the game first came out, it was real shit. There's a lot of things bad about it. Let's remind you guys of a few things. The marketplace was terrible, RNG for everything, bidding on everything. Who remembers silver weighing you down? You couldn't carry more than like 5 to 10 million silver before it weighed you down. I mean, weight's already restrictive. I mean, you got to buy it with real money. On top of that, silver weighed you down. Yeah, the pets, you only had 4 pets when in the early game, right? In the beginning, you only had 4 pets. Yeah, oh, they didn't release pets till later, is it? I forget. But dude, it was bad. The game was bad. I mean, like, the PvP was fun. The drama was fun. So if you guys look at the server list, you can see that we can go to any of these servers, right? Remember, back when the game first came out, if you were in Calpheon, you could only go between the Calpheon channels. So like each of these servers were their own entities, whereas each of the numbers represented just the channel. You could like switch between those. So yeah, the PvP was fun. Like before Awakening came out, the game was like, you know, it was popping. The drama was real. Like, it was fun even though the game sucked. Or some parts of it sucked, but it was a good game overall. But, you know, for what it was, the game right now is way better than then in terms of the quality of life changes and things, you know? But, yeah, what else was crappy? I guess Awakening was like a shit show. Like, they released some Awakenings which are just absolutely amazing. Like, Warrior Awakening was a big step up. Like, Witch and Wizard did really well with Awakening. Some classes did really well, but Dark Knight was like a god. It was like 5 classes in one. Medea was a battleground, dude. Have you guys seen the Game of Guilds, the Lakari videos? Barcode Arc was like my favorite one. Like the old days. Like you can go through some of the old ones. It was funny to watch. But yeah, like the game was it was a give or take. I was a ranger, so I got screwed over, you know? Uno for life. Dude, I got screwed over. I loved playing Ranger in Pre-Awakening. Ranger in Pre-Awakening was an amazing class. It's how every freaking MMO should make their Ranger class, their Archer classes. Like highly mobile, quick paced, high skill cap, great damage. Now, they made a lot of quality of life changes. Like remember back then you couldn't Q cancel straight forward or backward. You had to turn your camera to the left, then hold down the middle mouse button, then turn it the direction you want to go, and then side straight forward. It was very high skill capped, I'll just say that. But then Awakening came around and they completely decimated your main hand, your pre-Awakening, because you didn't have absolute skills then. And with the Awakening, the amount of damage Awakening did compared to that, no comparison. So you had to play Awakening. And then class like Ranger, you got screwed over because you're now a basic as glass cannon, which had like very minimum protections. But yeah, I mean the game was not at the best best state it could have been. But yeah, back in the days, most people played Ranger Pre-Awakening. Dude, Ranger Pre-Awakening was a god. I mean, that was the time Ranger was at its peak. But yeah, I mean, like compared to then and now, like over the years, they've made really good quality of life changes. I mean, respect to that. Many games usually just buckle down and try to milk the community for all its money. And then once the game dies, it's dead. Or some are still just going like silently, like Ion. Like that game, I love that game, but they could have done so much better. I mean, you have to keep reinventing the game. Like, remember like a game like League, even if it's a MOBA, how many times they changed the system? Remember the talent systems back then in the beginning? You have to keep rechanging the game. And, you know, with the Succession release this year and late last year, I mean, it's a good thing they did that. I mean, it was an old mistake with the Awakenings, forcing us to play some stupid class like Ranger Awakening. But it's a good way to, you know, redeem yourself for that. Now the game is where it should have been back then. League changes every week, I know. But that's their policy. They're like, even if it's good, you have to keep changing. That's just their thing. But yeah, I mean, like, the game is way better. I mean, props to them for making the changes they have made up till now, and they keep making it. And now we're going to talk about, like, basically what they've done this year. So for those of you who don't know, I started my YouTube channel late last year with Arcade. That was just pretty much a test run. I wasn't really serious about being a YouTuber or anything, or, you know, it's just a hobby for me. It's just something I do on the side. And also, like, having a YouTube channel, it kind of legitimizes me playing games. So when people, when people 5-6 years ago, if I told someone, yeah, I've been playing games a lot, like, or I play like 4 or 5 hours a day, back then the crowd I hang out with, they didn't really care. But now, like, I'm closing in, you know, to a boomer age, so it's like, yeah, less wife aggro. My wife was always okay with it, but yeah, you know, eventually it might start up. So preemptively prepare, and also, like, explaining to people, oh, I have a YouTube channel. That's way more, you know, way more explainable. And instead of people thinking, oh, this guy's still playing 10 hours a day, ha, what a noob. They think, oh, cool, that's awesome, you got a YouTube channel. You know, it's something. But yeah, but anyway, let's get back to what I was talking about with the game. Like, this year has been, like, really interesting to see, because I came in at the end of, like, the old era, in my opinion. Because when I started, you know, getting the soft cap was still a grind. I mean, they didn't have the catch up mechanics. Unfortunately, I started when I did. Like, if I started like a month later, I would have played a Guardian, hands down. Or tell them the channel name? Nah, it's fine. Sometimes my IRL friends drop by on stream as well in the chat. But yeah, they're all cool. But yeah, so when I started, it was at the old era, like the end of it, in my opinion, because I'll tell you why. So the first thing that happened was, like, in March, right? Was it in March? The 4th anniversary? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Gragas, I'll get around to it. Don't worry, I'll talk about that. But 4th anniversary event. What happened there? That was in March, was it? What's up, Cameron? Just in time, dude. But yeah, like, that was a shit show. I mean, it was great for us as a player. Like, amazing stuff that came our way. Like, all the freebies. How much did we get? Over 2 billion in stuff, freebies. I think it was over 2 billion. Like, if you add up, like, the suppressed boss gears, if you actually NPC'd those. Like, I still need to sell mine. Mine are just sitting there. I never used it on anything. Because, you know, I made a video back then. That video was gear progression with quest gears, and also went over how to get the suppressed boss gear at the time. I thought, like, you know, they're giving out free try boss gear set. This is amazing. Now's your chance, guys. You got to get in. What happened right after the anniversary event ended? Oasis came around. I'm like, well, rip. So much for that. But, you know, they gave so much free crap during the anniversary event. Like, I think I got a list of, I think I have the, actually, I can get up the old rewards menu. Let me do that. Hold up. But yeah, the amount of things they gave out was absolutely insane. Oh, where did I put it? Here it is. Let me change my view. Like, for those of you who missed out on the anniversary event, yikes. Like, you guys missed out big time. Check this out. This was the attendance rewards. 20 days Secret Book of Old Moon, 20 days comma, 15 days value pack, 50 Valk, inventory slot, free storage made, inventory, storage made, a freaking costume, the Shikatu boxes, and the tier 4 pet, a 70 Valk. Oh my god. And then remember Mamori? That one bear thingamabob? That was another free 100 stack. Remember that? Oh my god. Event number 3. They had the really good Black Spirit adventure. And then they gave out free money. Like what? 53 mil or something. Like, so much stuff. So many things. They just gave out so much stuff. Like, they pumped so much silver into the game, it was obscene. And it's an important fact to note, because I'll show you why a little bit later down the line. But yeah, the amount of things. free money, discount coupons. Oh my god. Like, it was insane. And along with that, you have the suppressed boss gear, right? So that's legit, like over 2 bill worth of crap for every player that's just been pumped into the game. And now what happens when inflation occurs in a game? Like, all the prices go up, right? Well, BDO's price system's a bit different. Like, for example, every time a new class comes, all the Black Star weapons, all the dandies, like, their prices fluctuate. Like, if you see next week when Awakening Succession comes out, Black Star prices would go up, dandy prices would go up. The way the economy works here is a bit different. Now, let's say everyone gets 2 billion and everyone gets all that money, and all that money gets injected into the game. It's not that our other money makers are like getting buffed, right? I mean, bartering still makes the same amount of money. Gathering would make a bit more money. I mean, like, it'll scale with inflation a little bit because you're selling those kafras, whatever. Grinding doesn't make that much more money. I guess your rare drops will sell a bit more, but what happens with the trash loot? I mean, a lot of the money comes from trash loot, right? When you're at the end game grinding, stars in, you know, you're reliant on black star drops, or sorry, black distortion drops, and then you make a big chunk of your money from the trash loot Sakraya, majority from trash loot. Like, those aren't getting buffed, so every time they inject like a big sum of money, it kind of screws us over. If the markets like inflate, like, our means of making money isn't going exponentially up. Every time there's like a new grind spot, like, for example, if you look between the difference between going from Khartuga to Sakraya, I mean, it is a decent jump in money per hour, but it's not that much that, you know, you can make up for such an inflation. At the end of the day, we're spending more time on the game because it inflated. I mean, it's great to have that hands-on cash right off the bat, but it has an effect going on. Like, one thing to remember, what happened was before the 4th anniversary event, I used to do peel of face scrolls for money every single day for 2 months, and I grinded my ass off to get like 1 or 2 tets a week, or one of the more expensive items every 2 weeks. And I grinded my ass off. If I knew how the direction the game was going, I would never have grinded that freaking hard. Like, the amount of hours I spent. Let me just tell you, when Season 1 came out, at one point my seasonal character had more gear score than my main. UNA people don't know about it. Well, the thing is, EU has much less number of players, so I can't really talk about you guys. The game isn't like, you know, it's not built for a low population. You need a lot of players. You need a lot of people, you know, bringing things into the economy. So yeah, your inflation's way worse than ours, and we have more number of servers, more number of players. But yeah, it's like, 1 second. Let me see. But yeah, with that kind of inflation, EU, lol, don't laugh. That kind of inflation, it doesn't help anybody. But yeah, I used to grind so hard. If I knew about seasonal characters and seasonals being a thing, I would never have grinded that hard. I wouldn't have wasted 2 months like grinding that quick. I guess it made good content. I got views off YouTube and whatnot. I mean, it was a bit less of a pain for me, but you know, at one point my seasonal character had more gear score than my main, only briefly for like a week, and then my main started accelerating really quick. I hit that point where I'm past the soft cap. So, you know, the amount of catch-ups that came in, it is good for newer players to come into the game, but at the same thing, like, all it does is minimize that initial time, like getting to that soft cap, but other players are going to be accelerating just as quick. So overall, at the end of the day, getting to endgame, you're not really saving too much time. But it does mess with the game integrity. Like, how you scale a game, it has to be, like, you have to be careful about it. Like, right now, what are they doing? They're pushing out Odalita. These spots are really high gear score requirements, right? So anyway, I'll actually talk about Odalita soon, but you know, the way you scale it out, it's I don't think they did it right. I think they rushed it. They should have gave us a bit more heads up. People like me wouldn't have wasted time, but you know, it's fine. It's fine, because I'm at the end of the day, I'm still ahead of like anyone who started in seasonal time, right? But was that my friends talk to me like I dodged Vietnam getting suppressed gear and everything from the event? Oh, dude. Actually, hey, there's knowledge over there I can get. Yeah, I mean, like, before it took like what? Back in the early days, how long did it take to get soft cap? Like, you know, 6 months to a year or something crazy, like very early on. And then recently, like even when I started freaking early in this year, before you know, seasonals was a thing, it still took 2 months. I mean, if you like no lifed and you grinded like 6 hours a day or something, sure, you could do it quicker. If you had the knowledge I have now, back then, I'm sure I could have done it quicker, you know, with life skills and stuff. But I was like a papega. I didn't even think about life skills. But oh yeah, the leveling up is like nothing anymore. Back then, remember, hitting level 60 was an achievement. Hitting 61 was like, you know, you were the shit, you know? I don't like the whole leveling being squished like that. I mean, that just devalues everything before 61. So, is what it is. But it took me 2 years to hit soft cap. Oh man, I feel ya. Yeah, I mean, they rolled it out, which is a good thing, but I think they rolled it out too quickly. VR is learning Sakurai. Oh, good stuff, man. Sakurai is easy. He can pick it up. But yeah, moving on. What was like the last reward for the anniversary? That was season. That was the boss gear, right? I mean, I thought it was a great catch up, and instead, I think it was just a meme, because right after COVID's lockdown started happening, and they just gave out Oasis gear. It's still there. I mean, the thing's free. It's like free try set until free try set until you know, at level 56 or whatever. So it's like whatever. What are you talking about, Day? Got 4.4k, no loot scroll. Who's? Yeah, I'm standing. Who got 4.4k in Sakurai without a loot scroll? You're tripping. Yeah, he definitely used something. He didn't get 4.4k in an hour without a loot scroll or any sort of buff. Because like the high-end players, they're getting like 5.6k. It ain't 4.4k, bro, without any buff, any drop rate buff. Like the highest end players are getting like, you know, 5.6k or something at their peak. Yeah, it's definitely on a loot scroll. Or Argus. Sakurai, 6 to 7k. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway. But yeah, they just come out with the Oasis stuff during COVID, right? I mean, it was nice. It was nice for everyone to level up your alts and just have like quick gear. But that pretty much devalues having a full tri set, isn't it? But anyway, when they gave out all the free stuff with Oasis, like that pretty much devalues a lot of things. Like one, your gear, a suppressed boss gear event. Well, screw that. You get free tri boss gear now, and all the cron meals, free cron meals, which I like. I like the free cron meals. And then like the free compass, that's a good thing. Having a compass is like a nonsense thing in BDO. Like why? Just let us look at ourselves on the map. Like whatever. But yeah, I mean, so you had the anniversary event, which gave everyone like billions, and then you had like in between, you had like horse training events. You had a lot of fishing events, like back-to-back fishing events. Like it generated a lot of silver, and a lot of silver was brought into the game. So yeah, also no desert debuff. Like they just kept pumping in so much silver into the game. Now, once the inflation starts happening, our grinding gets devalued to a certain extent by a small percentage. I mean, yeah, like stuff like accessories and all could go up, but you know, if overall everything gets more expensive, like you know, what are we gonna do? Like I think they increased the price of like pen accessories by 20-25% on the marketplace because they're worth a lot more, but that makes sense. But still, you know, inflation is inflation, and it doesn't really help us. Now, once we get to like a year down the line, is everything going to be like millions and billions? Maybe. But yeah, and after all that, let's see. When did Oasis events start? Like 3-4 months ago? And along with those Oasis boxes, you get like accessories. Remember when making what was it? I think, is it cheap to make Aposha rings with Yona fragments anymore? I think the price went down. At one point, those got like freaking crazy. It got too expensive. It wasn't even worth making anymore. Considering the the marketplace compass cost Oasis came out. Yeah, I know. It's like useless now to even buy it. Maybe it's because I came in with the 4th anniversary event. I didn't really have to work for anything except everything compared to you. I didn't really work too much Wanderer. I mean, I was only here a few months before the 4th anniversary event. Like, I grinded that time, and then I felt like an idiot for spending so much time. And it completely devalued my effort into it. I can only imagine someone who's been playing, like, who grinded like 2 years to get to like 269, and I did it in like months. Like, yeah, I'm sure they felt their time was devalued too. I understand getting people caught up is important, because once you're rolling out like higher end content and everything, but I don't know what they're planning to do. Like, it pretty much devalues a huge section of the game. Like, look at the map. Like, what was 1 to 55? Whoops. 1 to 55 was all this area, everything over here, right? And then once 56 plus is like all this area. And then you got Kamasolv, which is later down the line. But a lot of stuff is like devalued. I can only feel for people who like actually put effort to get like 269 AP or something, like insane gear score. And then now just everyone's getting it like easily. I opened 480 Oasis box and got 550 mil silver. Is nice, man. Remember like last time I opened Oasis box, I got a gold bar box, 700 mil. It's like insane. They're just handing it out. So I mean, it's just going to keep adding to the inflation. Like, when you keep devaluing everyone's effort, like, I'm sure people feel it. New players will enjoy it, but guess what? A lot of the comments I get, a lot of the DMs I get, they're like, hey, I'm full seasonal gear. What do I do? I'm like, play the game, bro. What do you mean, what do I do? Here's a gear progression guide I made. But it's like, when you boost people, like, skip all the levels, get all the gear, and then you put them into the main game, and if you compare them to like someone who's like, you know, been playing hardcore like before all of this catch up, they're like, what, 300 AP, they just look at you, you die. There's no catching up there. The gold bar box is the best one, actually. Yeah, man, I'm glad I got it. But yeah, it's like there's no catching up there, but you not only devalued everything, but then, you know, it's still like you're still a year off from catching up technically. Like, I don't know what their plan is. It doesn't make sense in that sense. Like, if you're going to catch people up, you have to do it in a smart manner. Now, it's just like, the only explanation I can think of is that, hey, let's give everyone free stuff, make them feel happy, they'll spend more money on the game. That's good for us. So, one key thing that happened in the 4th anniversary event, let me show you guys. But yeah, one thing that happened in the 4th anniversary event. Now, there's 2 reasons for this. One, because they gave so much free crap out to every single person. But also, COVID happened, so more people were home, right? So yeah, this chart is not accurate. They don't have like proper metrics in my opinion, but it is like accurate in the sense of comparison from what it was to what it is now. I don't think the numbers are accurate, but the growth, like increase and decrease, would be accurate. So this peak, the highest peak they ever hit, when was this? This was the anniversary event. The game had the most players it ever had. Like most MMORPGs, like what happens to them? Initially, they have a huge hype, and then they start dying down. Every time there's a major expansion, they might get a tick up, well, then they start dying down. This game, it got so many players, and considering how expensive this game is, how much money people spend on this game, they made a lot of money. So one theory is that once you have this influx of players, just keep buffing everything. If you keep buffing everything, everyone's happy, everyone's spending more money playing the game, enjoying the game. And there's no semblance of balance in PvP, right? Like, there's no balance in PvP. Let's not kid ourselves. Like, now in endgame, DP is a meme. Everyone goes evasion, which helps to a certain extent. But if you get hit by one skill, you're dead. If you get CC'd once, you're dead. What do you mean? Get like 281 AP is done in months, enough to kill 95% of the player base? Exactly. Like, that is true. Like, even if someone spent like, you know, a year grinding hard, getting their DP up, the 283 AP, like 286 AP on Maneuver, I clap people. Like, I was in Arsha grinding the Ronaros piece. I did a lot of PvP. I came up against a lot of highly geared players. I got a new video coming out for that, but I clapped. Basically, with like a glass cannon build with a Maneuver, I was clapping people. So it's like all that catch up like devalued all of their effort. Now, I understand that, you know, just because you're highly geared, you shouldn't be like lording over everyone else. Like, I don't think a highly geared player should one-shot someone. I think they should have like a 20%, you know, more damage or defense or something, but I don't think you should be able to like just one-tap people. That's nonsense. But The game has no balance, and they don't really need to make any balance. They don't need to. They're still a successful game. Like, they have more players than ever with like no balance whatsoever, right? So it's like PvP needs work. They're not going to work on it. Trust me. Trust me. I'll tell you exactly what they're going to do with it. Nothing. They're going to keep buffing classes to make each of the player bases of each class like, you know, happy. Because if someone buffs your class, you're happy. You're going to play. If someone nerfs your class, you're going to feel like quitting. You're going to feel like re-rolling. You're going to lose motivation to play. So, you know, is what it is. But, you know, class buffs are a major thing that happened recently, because even a class like a witch or a wizard, who are like top of the game, Succession, they got buffed. Mystic, who is a very powerful class, I don't think she's S tier, but she's up there, A plus at least. She got buffed. You know how she got buffed? They didn't increase her damage. They will increase her damage now. There is some buffs coming through in global labs where your 3 martial shard skills do way more damage. And I don't know why they're doing it. I mean, I don't think it's a good idea to do it. Because we were good. We're strong. I don't think you need to buff our class even further, but I won't complain, you know. This is their plan. They're just buffing everything. Keep the player base happy. More money comes in. But also, there is another reason. With Odalita coming out, the AP ranges are really high. Like, very few people can grind Ash Forest as it is. Once Odalita comes out, those are really high-end spots. So, not everyone's going to have, like, Dead God Armor anytime soon. Like, the higher-end players will, but if you look at the majority of the players, they won't. So, by buffing the classes, you at least give us, like, you know, give the players a better chance of like gearing up with the existing content and catching up. Yeah, 250. I know there's a 250 spot, which is like better than Akhman and Histria, but you know, the spots after that, they do clap. So there's still Musa and mains. We've been pretty much forgotten since release. Yeah, I heard that your Succession does decent damage, but I don't envy the playstyle. It's not fun in my opinion. They really need like a proper rework of them, but they won't. There's too much effort to rework, because the effort that you put into reworking a Musa or an Awakening DK, you can put into making a new class and make way more money. The ROI of making a new class greatly outweighs what you can do with an existing class. Give us more players that that can clap us in one basic attack. Oh man. Like, the balance in this game is non-existent, and don't ever expect it to come. And if you play a class which is like underpowered, like an Awakening Meiwa, Awakening DK, Awakening Ranger, don't expect them to do some massive rework to your class. All they'll do is add and tweak numbers. They might add extra hits to a skill. They might add more damage to a skill, or a Musa definitely. So don't expect them to change anything. Just re-roll if you enjoy the game, or you want to play the game with a better Awakened Ranger. Dude. Biggest meme ever. But yeah, just straight up reroll. Like, don't torture yourself. Don't wait for them to do anything. Like, recently they buffed every class around the board, but they left out the weak classes. They fixed DK for high end zone with their Succession. Exactly. I mean, everything has like, what is my ship doing? Like, Jesus Christ, how much zigzags are you gonna do? Just go straight. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Straight. Pissing me off. But anyway, yeah, don't wait out. Like, guys, the way 2020's gone, they're not going to buff any of the weak classes. It's not about 1v1. I know it's not. But 1v1 is the most common form of PvP in this game. Like, you know, grinding and everything. Even in a 1v1, Awakened Ranger has very little protection. She's very high skill capped, and the amount of effort you have to put in to get results with her, you can get much easier with another class. Like, if you put in that much effort in with a ninja, like, it's not even a competition. So, like, yeah, I mean, Succession does okay damage. Yeah. Successions are good. The thing about Succession Awakening, guys, you got to remember, Awakening was developed a long time ago. Like, it was developed in the early games, like when Valencia came out, right? Like, they didn't balance Awakening that well for like endgame spots to endgame grinding we know now. Like, Awakening and stuff, it was for the old type of gameplay. Like, back then, everything was one shot. How long did it take them to get us like Akhman and Histria? Those were like the true endgame spots, like the first iteration of those. And after that, well, we got like Kratuga, we got Starzen, we got Kamasilv and with Monchams and Gaifen Razia, we got Trees. You know, it took them a long time to come out with the endgame spots, and Awakening was not developed back then. Awakening was developed for the old mob style, like Musa Awakening, Meiwa Awakening. They clapped back then because they were able to clear things really quickly one shot. You know, one shot packs. But they weren't designed for, like, you know, grinding in Star's End. So when they developed Succession, they kept in mind the current grind spots, the current state of the game. So that's why a lot of Successions outperform Awakenings. Guardian's Awakening was developed recently, right, with the current endgame grind meta. So her Awakening is okay. You'll see Hashasen's Awakening okay. Succession might be a bit better or whatever. I don't know the deal with them, but all the older classes, their Awakenings were from the old days. So the buffs that come in with the classes now, it's going to be like, you know, increased damage, increased number count. They're not going to do a huge gameplay update to like an Awakening DK or Awakening Meiwa. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the situation. I'm calling it out now. They're not going to do it. If they do it, great. Thank God. But I don't think they will. So anyway, we had like major buffs coming back. Hey, Mista. Thank you. Appreciate it, dude. Coming back to what we were talking about, what was the next big catch-up that came out? After the 4th anniversary, the suppressed boss gear, we got Oasis gear. What came out? You guys know it. It's seasonal. Seasonal servers came out. Don't say never. Awakening DK needs to be better. It won't be. Like recently, when they freaking like lifted the godliest PvE classes like Succession, Wizard, and Witch. Like, they did some great buffs. What did they do for Awakening DK? Added a float, a little bit more damage on one skill. Pansy, but keep in mind, wrong number changes can break a class every time, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, you're not supposed to just change the numbers. Like, you can clearly see the class isn't designed for... You gotta cry. Don't cry, man. Just reroll. You gotta understand, like, the nature of the skills for Awakening DK. How does it look? When you do an instant skill, it does a big spread, large damage, damage spread, but not much single target damage, you know? Those kind of skills don't really help out in late game unless you're pulling. But, you know, Awakening DK isn't going to stack up to a freaking Guardian who was, like, recently developed. Requires way less input than any other class. And does really good at endgame spots. I mean, like, her damage spread is great. Huge AoE, great damage. But an Awakening DK can't do the same thing. Like, unless they rework the mechanic behind it, just increasing the damage wouldn't help. Because, like, let's say you increase the damage to a point where your biggest spread skill of which you're Awakening does, like, a lot of damage. Then it would be broken because it's instant tap. Because there's no cast time. You just press it and it instantly casts out really quick. So unless they like rework the mechanics behind it, they can't really do much. Don't hold out for it, guys. Just reroll. Unfortunately, if you enjoy what you play, by all means keep playing. But otherwise, if you're waiting for them to make a change, don't wait. Guardians have shift Q. Why can't DKs have huge AoEs? They could, but you know. Are they going to give them that much more damage? How much damage do you need to add? You need to like quadruple the skill damage. I don't think they're going to quadruple anything, right? So, is what it is, right? Hold up, let me open up the Sailing Discord because I need to get Salies today. Where's my boy? Who is this? Anyway. What was I talking about? I was talking about the class buffs recently, right? So, yeah. There are two reasons why. Oh, don't worry. I was waiting for Momo. I usually do it with Momo now. But yeah, there's two reasons why they did the class buffs. One is a business standpoint. Like, if you buff everyone's classes, the players are more happy, more likely to play the game, more likely to spend money on the game, and everyone's happy, the game's great, right? No, it's not, because the PvP is kind of broken. Like, Mystic is my main class, and her openings in between her protections got closed. Like, when I was in Ronaros, I was clapping people. Like, I was destroying people. Henry, I'll let you know who I'm joining. But yeah, like, I don't know why they needed to do that. It wasn't necessary. I like it because I'm a Mystic, but guess what? All those players who got one-tapped by me, like, multiple players got one-shot by my 3-shard Wave Orb, and that skill's getting buffed. At least they're only buffing it in PvE, I think, but it's already a hard-hitting skill. You don't need to buff it, even in PvE, but that's just the thing. Like, one's either a business standpoint, or two, they're trying to, help classes do better and like Odalita, because there's going to be high requirements for that, right? Thoughts on endgame Hashassin? I haven't played it myself, man, so I can't really comment, but I think it's going to be very strong. Up there with a Guardian. What do you think about the update on Awakening buff on Mystic Global Ops? Awakening Mystic is behind Succession, so it does need the buff to catch up. But guess what? Compared to other classes, like in PvE, it might be like, upper middle of the pack for Awakening. But in terms of PvP, she's still strong. She's never weak. I think that's pretty standard, Grandma. But yeah, so next thing, like in 2020, what's going to happen is Odalita is coming out soon. We got a date on it too. High AP DP requirement spots, and because these spots are so high and they've given out so much free stuff and they're buffing so many classes, I guess that's their way of helping us get prepared for that. And as the new spot comes out, there's more grind spots, obviously, and as the players are catching up with seasonal, the middle of the game over here is like pretty much dead except for life skilling. So players will start off here with Akuma and Hystria and maybe Kama Sylvia, and they'll be more towards the newer areas. So I guess, having seasonal, it does help players enjoy the newer content a bit more. But, with all the buffs they did, with all the inflation that's going on, I am worried that, this is already a grindy game. I already need to grind. If you're making 100 mil an hour grinding, just imagine, it takes 150 to 170 hours of grinding to get a pen. That's insane numbers. Just to put it in perspective, in RuneScape, to get a 99, it was like 100 hours. Except some 99s which are like 200 hours, but some were less. But on average, most of them you could get within 100 hours. Like, to grind that much for like a pen and stuff, it is an insane concept. And the design of BDO is to keep players online. Like all the AFK stuff and all the stuff that, all the benefit you get from leaving your character online, even with your workers, which I haven't fed today. Whoops. We should do that right now. Like, this game, it rewards staying online. So they're just trying to like keep you online even further, man. I mean, that's their game. That's how they, they do well doing it. I guess it makes sense. I mean, it does look worker check everybody, feed them. I haven't fed them today. I mean, it's just what it is. But anyway, I guess we already looked at the population numbers, right? Like, the game is at its best. So what does this mean? So obviously COVID was a factor, but I think more than COVID, I think people would have still played the game. I think they would have still they would have still got on for the 4th anniversary to get all the free stuff, for all the catch-up mechanics, for the seasonal, for the new classes, whatnot. So I don't think COVID was a big factor, but they got a huge boost in a player base. So that means whatever they've done this year, it's positively reinforced. The amount of money they've been making, you can bet they made a ton of more money from doing what they did. So whatever you guys are thinking that, it probably didn't work out, or they're going to change, they're not going to change. Whatever happened is going to keep happening, and it's going to stay constant in that sense. So if you're holding out, don't hold out. Just let go. Move on to a new class or whatever. It is what it is. But the 2020 has been a great year for BDO. They hit their highest numbers, and the game's gotten more expensive in a sense. Let's actually go over that. Let's go over the Pearl Shop. I know people hate when I say it's pay to win, because technically it's not pay to win. You're not winning by putting in $1,000. You're not winning by putting in $2,000, right? Is LAN in a good spot? It is. Succession LAN is really strong for PvE. So you're not winning like just by putting in money into the game. How much did it take for that one guy? How much did he spend? Like 100 grand, 200 grand in the game to get to like his, the peak of the gear? Like he's put in a lot of money, right? So I don't think you can call this a pay to win game. Yeah, the tent is insane. Let's go over to some of the items in the freaking Pearl Shop, which are pretty important. Pets are pretty important, but you can get by pets by just getting the free pets that they give you, getting the free pets from attendance rewards and stuff, and also just pre-ordering them off the marketplace. So for those of you who are new, how do you get more pets by pre-ordering, right? So what you do is every time there's on the reset day, like on a Wednesday when the game's updated, immediately check the Pearl Shop, see what's the new pet that's on sale. For example, this fox or whatever, right? Or this dog. Then go put a pre-order on that. Let's see how many pre-orders are on there. Oh man, I can't even spell now. What is that dog called? Is that even viable? Hunan search dog? I don't know. Whatever. Pick something else. I guess the fox. Let's just use that as an example. Jesus. Desert fox. So right on reset. Right on reset. Log in as fast as possible and put the pre-order on whatever is on sale. That's the best chance you have to buying a pet off the marketplace. And doing that, you can technically get all the pets to tier 4 without having to pay for it. But, by paying for it, you save yourself many hours of time. And coming to the next point here, actually, the buffs. Before, when the game first came out, the game was pretty much buy to play. Once you buy the game, you can play it infinite number of times or amount of time, right? But they did have a subscription sort of method, which is the value pack. And later down the line, they released an item which people thought was too OP, was pay to win, which indeed is a really strong item, the Blessing of Kamasilv. The blessing of the Kamasilv blessing. This is really strong. 20% drop rate, like insane. 2 energy recovery. That doesn't seem like much for a new player, but that is insane if gathering is your main moneymaker, right? Gathering can already make well over 100 mil an hour, like 150, almost 200 mil an hour, whatever the number is now. Like with the mastery gear, it's up there. 2 energy recovery is huge. Then the additional weight for all the other stuff, it's... I'm a grinder, so I need the blessing. I always have this running. And then what happened like about 4 or 5 months ago? This thing came out. Secret Book of Old Moon. And this is something which is really useful. You can change your add-ons for free. You get 100% XP buff, 50% for life skill, which is insane. That is the huge buff for life skill. And then skill XP as well. And you don't have to have a Villa scroll for your pay-to-win campsite. Let's go to a campsite. Freaking costs like $50. 49 bucks for a campsite. Like, you can buy an actual tent in real life for that money. Like, I didn't want to pay the full price for that. I spent a lot of money in this game. I spent a lot of money, but I did not pay full price for this damn thing. I told myself, I am not paying full price. God damn it, I'm waiting for a discount. So I waited until there was a 20% discount or whatever, and I used a 20% discount coupon on it and brought it down to like 30 bucks or something. But it's expensive. Like, yeah, it's not pay to win because you're not winning even if you pay. But if you pay, you get ahead like significantly. Like, you can, if you put money into this game, you're way ahead of a player who doesn't. Like, artisan memories are so OP. Like, how much money you save from artisans? 300 cronstones, nice. Like, the amount of money you save from artisan memories and from using cronstones you buy off the marketplace. Like, I mean, cronstones you can get by pre-ordering costumes. And for new players, if you want to pre-order a costume, same concept as with the pets. Look for what's on sale. Find the outfit which is on sale and put a pre-order on that. So as soon as the patch drops, as soon as you can log in, immediately go put your pre-order. Now, yes, you can buy everything off pre-orders, but guess what? I put up a pre-order for a value pack for 1 month. It didn't buy. So all that month, I was waiting for that to come in. Never came in, which it was fine. I already have value packs and stuff, but I wanted to save some money. Yeah, pay for convenience, but it feels like it's mandatory to pay. Like, playing the game without a value pack is so rough. Like, how much does that save on the marketplace tax? It feels like 30% less sales tax on the marketplace. Jordan, what's going on? Thank you for the raid, man. I hope you're doing well, buddy. What is going on, guys? We're having a talk about the state of BDO right now. Welcome to the stream, everybody. It does sound like I'm pretty much ranting, but hey, I think we're in agreement, chat. I think we're in agreement with most of the thing we talked about. Value packs don't seem to cycle on a marketplace. Too many people need them. I know, dude. It's terrible. Like, and if you're waiting for the value pack to come in, then you can't really buy anything else on a marketplace. You can't put pre-orders for costumes and stuff. But to the free-to-play players, how do you get by that marketplace tax issue? So If you can't pay for a value pack, if you don't get a pre-order, there's a way to get around it, which is with loyalties. With 1,400 loyalty points, you can get a one-day value pack. Or you can wait until they give you a free one. They do give you free value packs quite often, actually. But basically, every 2 weeks, you can get a one-day value pack. So you pretty much save up. You don't collect any money, any silver from the marketplace sales. You just leave them there. And then twice a week or twice a month, you can get one of these and then collect everything. So that's how you can get by it. But it feels like there's so many perks to a value pack. They should just make it free, like honestly. Like there are so many good things about it. I cannot play the game without a value pack. Guys, I know the latest, the 10-year anniversary thing for Pearl Abyss gave you 7-day free value pack. What was the code again? Can someone put it in the chat? I have it in my Discord. Let me find it. But yeah, I can't play without a value pack. Once you go value pack, it's hard to go back. Like, it's one of those things that at this point, after you have so many buffs, you got value pack, Blessing of Kama Sylph, and you got a Book of Old Moon. Each of those costs money. And that's a lot of money. Like 45 bucks a month. What is it? I forget. Yeah, BDO PA 10. Thanks, Sasuka. But yeah, I mean, it's an expensive luxury to have. You don't... They're making millions off value packs? Exactly. But it's like the perks now, you should make some of them baseline. Like, come on. Like, even if you want to keep the sales tax thing, fine. The other stuff, at least make that baseline. Like, 50 barter refresh points is huge. But yeah. Oh, thanks for the follow, guys. Appreciate it. What's up, Zach? Welcome to the stream. You can get the books and commons off the marketplace. Yeah, that's the thing, DKane. Like, if you have something on the marketplace and pre-order, you can only put one pre-order for a pearl item at a time on the marketplace. So once you do that, then you can't really, pre-order anything else. So as far as the pearl shop, this year it got more expensive. With at least for a player who like me, who's always spending money to keep the latest and greatest buffs. So with the Book of Old Moon, it is great to have, like permanent buff and XP and everything is nice, but it did get more expensive. That puts us at like 3 buffs we have to keep up at all times if you want to keep them up. You don't have to. Like if you want to be a free-to-play player, you can. But another thing, let's say the weight. I'm not really huge on inventory space. Like I have like 80 or 90 slots in my Pearl inventory that I didn't use, but weight is a huge thing. Like you have all the ones over here, which is what 800 weight, and then you have the 251, which they sell for a limited amount of time. Then they put up, get your pre-orders up for the Old Moon tomorrow. Nice. And then they have the 300 weight that comes out every once in a while, like every time there's a new class or in between sometimes. But, the weight isn't like a deal breaker, but if you go to a place like Sakraya, you kind of want a lot of weight. No, you don't. You can just go keep running to the NPC and just selling everything. But what's another example? History, I guess? History doesn't take up too much weight. I guess you can get by without having a lot of weight. Unless it's life skilling. Life skilling needs weight. Like, you'll feel the difference with cooking. So you don't have to keep running back and forth. I don't think it needs it, but it's a big difference. Like, the game's expensive. Maids can compensate. That's true. But then you gotta buy maids as well, because they do give out free maids, but not that many. Yeah, I can get maids instead of weight. True. But yeah, my biggest complaint is the freaking buffs. Like, honestly, like, you have 3 buffs. At least make the value pack, or make the value pack cheaper on the loyalty place, at least for the free-to-play players. Like, I think a value pack, a one-day value pack for 700 loyalty is fair. What do you guys think? Like, once a week, you can collect all the silver you made throughout playing the week and selling items. I think that's way more fair. At least do that. Like, come on. Why do you hate your players, huh? Like, free-to-play players are important. Like, looking around, how many people here in this crowd over here spend like, $50 a month? I'm sure there's a pretty good number of them, but if you even consider 20% of them are free-to-play, that's a huge number of players when you have 100,000 players or more. Like, you gotta give them a little bit more. The game's getting, it's getting more inflated. I think it is important. I got an Old Moon book pretty quickly pre-ordering. Nice. Probably RNG. It is random, isn't it? They already did Valencia trash to 0.1. Yes, they did. That is true. I guess the weight isn't like a deal breaker, but the buffs, I think, that's my biggest complaint, guys. I'm not complaining that the game's like pay to win or anything. It's not. Because even if you put in $2,000 right now, immediately, how much are you going to gain out of it? Not enough to like catapult you to the rank 1 unless you're extremely RNG carried, right? Maybe they should do a value pack for 2,500 pearls for 3 months. Yeah, something. But you know, I don't want to take away too much from their profit because you know they're not going to make a bad business decision. That's like out of the question. They would never do that. But like making the loyalty shop one, that 1 day one for, you know, 700, I don't think that's a hard thing to do. I don't think it's going to take away, they're going to see any difference in their income. Like if you're really compelling someone who doesn't want to pay that much for a value pack to pay for it versus like, you know, just letting a free to play player get by easier, I'd say do it. Absorb the loss. But all right, whatever. I'm rambling at this point, but I guess we can do like a quick recap of the current state of the game. What do you guys think? Good or bad? Current state of the game. What do you guys think? I think we're in a good spot. I think the game's at the best spot it's ever been in terms of quality of life, variety in terms of how to play BDO compared to what it was. Like remember, Mastery Gear made life skill so relevant. Like you can be a permanent life skiller and make bank. Yeah, I think it's doing pretty well, right? Many players means they did a good job. I think so, but I think there is like problems down the line. Like you saw the population chart, it like dips really, really quickly. I think they're going to see a dip unless they keep pumping out new content and bringing all those people back. I think, you know, I think they'll be fine. Yeah, I think the game is in a good spot right now. It is. Like, let's see. We have mastery for life skills, so that means you can play the entire game without ever having to go grind. You can, if you want to skip questing, you can go freaking skip every single quest in the game and just do your thing. If you want to just grind, you can pretty much do that. Though now grinding is like not as competitive. Like how long does it take? Like within a week you can have like full trilogia and start making like over 100 mil an hour gathering versus actually grinding really needs a rework in that sense. Like the amount of money you get early game, late game's good, but early game's not good. So I hope they do rework it. But anyway, as for a quick recap, like they have the best catch-up mechanics they've ever had in the game. Period. Like I thought, like I was so like hyped for 4th anniversary event. I'm like, so much free stuff. Yo guys, this is the best time ever to get into the game. Suppress boss gear, best time ever to get into the game. Oasis gear, best time ever. And then it's like seasonal gear. Well, suddenly my seasonal character has more gear score than my main. But it's one of those things, like, you know, they keep adding these catch-up mechanics. I want to see where it goes because they're devaluing a lot of the early game gains that people have made in the past. So whatever. I mean, it makes me feel like an idiot for grinding so hard in the first few months I played, right? Last I played, I had like 220 AP, and it was like, well, farm Fogans for 800 hours to afford upgrades. Yeah, I know, it was terrible. Free Tet boss gear, Monka. They have seasonal gear. That is technically like pretty free. I mean, it's not difficult to get a few pen pieces, right? It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit grinding in like easy spots. It's not difficult at all. But yeah, my biggest complaint I think is they should really consolidate these buffs, guys. Like if you want me to pay 30 bucks a month, all right. Consolidate the buffs into one. Make some of these things baseline. Like the central marketplace capacity, 2,000 weight. Come on. It just pisses me off now every time my Kama Silva drops. Because like now I can't put anything into just my marketplace because it's like full. Like, yeah. Grinding pirates for 10 mil an hour. I know, dude. The old days. And all those days are devalued entirely. Like now you can go with 80 AP, go grind helms for like 30, 40 mil an hour. But yeah, I would definitely want to see like these buffs like consolidated or at least make some of them baseline. Overall state of the game's good, but there's a lot of things they can improve, and I think they really need to improve if they want to keep growing. Because you'll see the drop off in players. If you start putting out content like Odalita and endgame content, yeah, you got seasonals to catch up, but going from season gear to 300 AP, yeah, that's still a year's grind, man. It's still a long way off, you know? I think many of you would agree with that. Yeah, I think it's stupid not having like a lot more baseline stuff. Like they should have put a lot more buffs into the baseline, which I don't know why they don't consider it. I guess, you know, hey, I want to keep my shuckles, but yeah. How good of a state is it Lon in? Lon's in a good spot. I I mean, she's not a large scale. You have to understand, some of these classes are designed for like to be an assassin. They're designed to be a large scale fighter or something. Like they have a specific role. So Alan is an assassin class. So she flies in, picks out a target, bursts him down, gets out of there. So for what she does pretty good, and her PvE with her succession's pretty good. So yeah, it was like, anyway, getting back to the topic, they made a lot of money off the past year, right? Like they made a lot of money with during the anniversary event when a huge influx of players came. Your player base almost increased by like 50% or 100%. They made a lot of money. Now, with that money, they're making a lot of good updates. They implemented seasonals. They rolled out a new class. They are rolling out Odalita. Yeah, great. How about you fix the server lag? I mean, that pisses me off, and I'm really considering dropping BDO if the server lag doesn't fix itself. Like every time during between 9:30 p.m. Eastern to about 11 p.m. Eastern or 10:30, I start lagging like hell. Like I think it's even Jordan, and I don't know if Jordan's here. I think he might have called it a night, but even he has the same lag. And I think we're on the same ISP. It's an ISP thing, dude. It's not our internet connection thing, but a lot of other players have it too. Like a pretty decent number of it. I mean, 10% is a lot of players, right? Like there are things like this that you should really fix. That's on you though. No, it's not on me. I don't have any choice with my ISP. There's only one ISP here. I can't use a VPN when I'm streaming because it throttles my output. So the stream gets really choppy. I tried. Yeah, move. I'll move for BDO. Yeah, server lag's been an issue. You know, one thing that's been more of an issue, desync. Like they never fix that. They never will. Like if you have that much money, at least try to come up with a solution for it. Like if you're gonna do something, I do have a fiber, yeah. You choose when what is funneled through VPN. I gotta figure that out then. Maybe exit lag or something, but it's not just me. A lot of people get it. Yeah, EU has it worse. I know. The thing is, like, you can fix these kind of things. Just upgrade, whatever. Do what you need to do. Like, if you're gonna expect players to buy your damn $45 a month buffs every month, like, come on, at least do that much for us, right? The reason Korea doesn't have much desync is because it's a small country. Exactly. Majority of their population is near Seoul, right? So, like, it's all consolidated. Like, they don't have the distance between California to freaking Florida. So, it is. Warriors pay to win. You need 150 FPS to be godly. You need 150 FPS to be competent. You're not going to be godly just by having that FPS. That's another stretch. Like, you're halfway there with that FPS. But that is the base requirement to be good with a warrior. Otherwise, they're slow. Unfortunately, that's one thing I don't like about the game, that FPS is an issue. I want to play this game with the best graphics ever. But unfortunately, that's just not how it's designed. Especially in an action combat game, FPS doesn't matter. But, yeah. Anyway, I think we talked about how to get around the value pack issue. So, I guess, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It would be nice. It's a nice to have. But anyway. So, after everything that's transpired this year, how's BDO capitalizing on it? Like, what are they getting out of it? So, first of all, COVID came around. There's more people online because of the lockdowns all over the world. And the anniversary event pumped in a lot of players into it. That means, they got a lot of positive reinforcement, and whatever they've been doing till now, they're like, let's keep doing it. Let's keep giving out free stuff. Let's keep buffing everybody. And that just brings in more money. What's it going to do for the balance of the game? They can only balance a class with itself. Like, if my succession for a Mystic is above the Awakening, Awakening is getting brought up a lot more. And when you compare a Mystic to a Striker, Striker's better. They're bringing up a Mystic to match the Striker a little bit. So they're not going to be balancing classes all around the board, but they'll probably do balances between like a Witch and a Wizard, or a Valk and a Succession Warrior. But they're not going to be balancing to a game-breaking extent. They're not going to be reworking old classes like Awakening Musa, Awakening Maywa. This is just my prediction. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope they rework Awakening Maywa because I love that class. It looks amazing, but I really hope they do. Valk is strong. Succession Valk is a beast. She is right behind Kuno and Ninja. Never between Kuno and Ninja. They're already gods. What's there to compare? Raggio, tell me what's bad between either of those classes. What are they lacking? But yeah, anyway, everything that goes forward with this game, I think it's going to be a business decision. Like, I know they're spending money to grow. I think they brought in certain streamers into the game through sponsorships or like, you know, through deals. I don't think some streamers just started playing here. But anyway, I think as a content creator, if you want to be a YouTuber or a streamer, I think now's the best time to get into BDO because like the community's grown considerably. It's actually been an upward trend even before the drop event came out. I think it's always been good. Like I think BDO is a good community to be a part of because when it comes to MMOs, like you can get like really competitive if like in terms of like RuneScape, like people are always asking for free stuff and things like that. Here, they'll ask you about knowledgeable things, and I think the kind of conversations we have in the BDO community is way more entertaining than other games, and I think it's a good community to be a part of. But yeah, overall, I think the publishers are really capitalizing on the situation in the world with COVID bringing in so many players. But hopefully, it will translate to better stuff for us in game. I'm hoping they're gonna roll out Odalita. Let's see how that is, but. You know what? Don't fall for the trap of the grind, guys. Like, I grinded for 2 months and it was such a waste. Like, I worked so hard on my character, on my main, and my seasonal character beat her in gear score really quick. So I felt like such an idiot. Like, all those times I was grinding hard to get my gear up, I could have been grinding, like, I could have been going for a Karak. I could have been getting my gathering up. I could have been life skilling, which would have set me up for, like, you know, success in the game, like a lot better than grinding for gear at the time. Because guess what? It didn't really matter at the end. Like all the catch-ups really devalued everything I had. So stop being a fake life skiller? Fuck no. Gathering will kill me. I can't gather, man. I'll barter. I'll be a barterer. I'm gonna be a serious barterer, guys. We're 3 weeks away from the Karak. Almost there. But yeah, don't fall into the trap of the grind, guys. If you're making 30 mil an hour, there's smart ways to you know, make money as an early game player. You can immediately start like, you know, doing Imperial cooking or something. Like if you're making 100 mil an hour and it costs a lot of time and effort from you. Hey, Jordan, you're still here. What up, man? Yeah, try to play the game a bit smarter. I mean, one takeaway is the game can change dramatically. They can give out everything you worked for free to like new players, like just like that. Like one thing, guys, like for the seasonal alchemy stone, I think that's a pretty good catch up too. I think that's getting people ready for freaking Odalita as well. Give everyone a free alchemy stone, which gives you monster defense. I think, you know, I think there's some game plan behind that. So don't fall for, you know, grinding on this game too much. Like, be smart. Use your time wisely because there's a lot of ways to make money in this game. Check out some of my videos. Check out streams like Jordan's, like he's a master life skiller. There are ways to go about the game without having to grind your head off. So, you know, just be conscious of where the game could be in like 6 months. Like 6 months ago, I was telling people, oh, now's the best time to come into the game. Now I'm thinking, well, it was a waste of time for me to grind 6 months ago. I should have just joined now. I would have saved so much time. What up, Maddie? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. No, I'm not leaving anywhere. No, we're just talking. We're just talking. But yeah. And there's like a lot of microtransactions. One thing they added this year in 2020 is freaking where is it? This. How much of a gamble is this, guys? Oh my god, getting that infinite HP pod grind, dude. I feel yeah, if it's taking you a long time. I got lucky. The only way I went for infinite HP potion is they gave me 2 pieces for free, like just 23 minutes, 28 minutes. Please grind the remaining pieces. And I'm like, fine, I'll do it. And then begrudgingly, I gave it 2 weeks. I'm like, if I don't get it in 2 weeks, I'm going to delete these pieces and I'm quitting. But luckily, I got it after a week. But anyway, this is like the #1 gambling thing they added this year. It's like 1,000. Once you have 4 skills and you're re-rolling, it costs $10 each roll. I had to do that recently, and luckily, it only took me 2 rolls to get my miraculous tier 5. But yeah, don't fall for these microtransactions. Me, I do well for myself. I don't really care. I'm just doing this for fun. It's whatever. I'm not even affiliated on Twitch because screw that. Like, listen, don't fall for the trap. I mean, you can play this game without spending too much money on it, but you know, just be careful on what you spend your money on. Like, there's that one guy who got banned after spending 100 grand. Imagine them laughing at him. It's like, ah, we found dirt on him. Let's get rid of this sucker. Oh man. I haven't done it too much. 30 hours at Roneros, 6 hours at Necro, spent 3 hours at Bloods and got it. Awesome, man. That's good. That's good. Got home from a party freaking 7 a.m. in Sweden. Dude. Yeah, that's one thing. Sweden never locked down. They're like, we don't care. Love it. 100 grand? There's that one guy. What's his name, guys? Hey, chat. What's that guy's name? Fart. It wasn't me, man. It wasn't me. I'm not rich, dude. Who got banned after dropping 100k? Guys in chat, what was his name? Estimate? Was it Estimate? Odeer? It's the same guy. It's the same person. But this guy, he got to like 660 something gear score, and then he's like, he didn't spend that much money until then, and then he paid to win like by 100k, and then he got banned for like either real world trading, or was it someone piloting his account? I forgot. Anyway, the dude spent 100 grand and just lost it all. Like, guys, this game you play for fun. Like, this is a game you should be playing to enjoy your, the time you have, right? So don't spend that much money. Don't be smart with your investment. Anyway, the catch-up mechanics we have right now in 2020, they're off the charts. Could never have imagined they'd be that great. Like, I mean, it's great for new players. I think it devalues the time other players put in, but whatever. I mean, it's what it is. We can't change it. All we can do is accept it and plan better. Like, I feel so stupid for grinding for 2 months like hardcore. I guess at least I made some videos out of it, right? But, hopefully you still don't have Karak. 3 weeks, man. Actually, 20 days now. I'll have it in 20 days. Oh, shoot. I need to look at... Is my dude doing his Salies? Momo! Yeah! What time is he starting? What channel is Momo on? Let me switch over. Well, 5. Who do I message? Ah, never luckies. But yeah, just doing Salies is just AIDS. Dude, I don't know what to say. I'm pretty much AFKing the whole time. Wish I understand this stuff. Maddie, I'm coming to WoW for Shadowlands. You got to teach me a lot of things. All right, let's find this Salies guy. Henry, are you still on stream? This guy Never Luckies is starting his dailies. Never Luckies. Salies. Dailies are easy to crack. Yeah. The key is a crack, I know. Anyway, let's close up this discussion. To close up the entire talk I had, the rant / discussion of what happened in 2020, my prediction is that Odalita comes out. They're going to keep rolling out more catch-up mechanics, but those catch-up mechanics aren't really going to save us time in the long run. I think new players will get into the game because of it. In turn, we'll spend more time playing the game. And overall, the game will readjust itself. Like, when there's inflation, when there's like easier ways to make money, whatever, everything else increases in price according to it. So along with it, so the amount of time you're spending to gain upgrades, I think it's not going to change too much. But overall, best time to play the game, but be careful with the cash up. They need to make changes. They need to make changes with the classes. They need to make changes with some of the cash up mechanics. Like, they need to make some changes. I hope they listen to like the sensible community instead of listening to the guys who are like, hey, please buff us Mystics. Oh no. And then they just buff everything around the board. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, that pretty much concludes that. Let's do some Salies, eh? Oh, damn, better stop that recording. I ranted for an entire hour. Is this guy going? I think he's, there's still time for it. I think it starts at 1. But yeah, here's what it is. More group content? I think it'll be like a few grind spots, but that's about it. This is a sandbox MMO. That means this is, open world, no instance stuff. Instantiated games can have more group content. What am I waiting for? I want to do some dailies. Waiting for an invite. Looking for this guy. Did I type his name right? I think I typed his name right. Let me try again. OD's supposed to have a couple duo grind spots. I think the best thing they can do for the game right now is to keep releasing revamped grind spots for more duo. Yeah, I mean, they just need to start. I don't know what they're gonna do with all this grind area, like all these old content areas. Now it takes like a day to get freaking, what do you call it? 61. Like, I don't know, it just devalues all that old content. I don't know what they're gonna do. Thanks, Maddie. The game feels more single player. Yeah, this is a single player oriented game, and that's one thing I appreciate about it. Like, being a YouTuber, like, I spent a lot of time with my chat off. Like, there was a month I didn't even talk to the guild. I feel bad for that, but I was just busy. So it's like, I'm glad that I can play the game alone if I wanted to, and at the same time, there are things I can do with other people. Oof. Where is this guy? Am I not able to?